I want you to picture the last sleeve of golf balls you bought, the premium ones, the ones with the tour player's name whispered in the ad. You paid nearly $50 for a dozen, and I need to tell you something that took me 11 years and thousands of wasted dollars to accept. That ball is probably robbing you of distance every single time you tee it up. I know, because I was the guy defending those balls in the clubhouse, lecturing everyone. I was wrong. And the reason I can prove it is that I finally put my own game on a launch monitor and watched the numbers destroy everything I believed. Stay with me, because by the end, I'm going to show you a free 30-second trick backed by real temperature testing that adds yards to whatever ball is already in your bag right now. You don't need to buy a thing to use it. Let me take you back to the moment it cracked open for me. It was a cold Tuesday in October, maybe 2 seasons ago, and I was standing in a fitting bay because my buddy dragged me there. I did not want to be there. I already knew what the best ball was. Everybody knew. The most famous tour ball on earth, the one that costs the most, the one every low handicapper swears by. I had played it religiously for over a decade. So when the fitter asked me to hit 10 shots with it, and 10 shots with a softball that cost half as much, I almost laughed. I thought this was going to be the easiest bet I ever won. It was not. The numbers came up on that screen and my stomach dropped. The cheaper ball, the one I would have been embarrassed to be seen with, carried the premium tour ball by nearly 9 yards with my driver. Not once, not a fluke, across the whole session. My ball speed with the expensive ball was lower, my launch was lower, and the spin was so high it was ballooning into the air and falling out of the sky like a wounded duck. I stood there staring at it, and I felt something I had not felt in a long time. I felt fooled. Here is the truth I want to build toward, and I want you to hold on to it, because everything else connects back to it. The single most important number on a golf ball for a senior golfer is not printed on the box. It is not in any commercial. It is a thing called compression. And for most players over 50, the ball the industry pushes hardest is the exact wrong ball for the swing you actually have. That mismatch is quietly costing you distance, accuracy, and money all at the same time. But let me be fair before I get angry, because for years I was part of the problem. I believed the story, and the story is seductive. The story goes like this. The best players in the world play a certain kind of golf ball, a firm, high-compression, multi-layer ball that spins a lot around the greens and feels incredible off a crisp iron, and the logic sounds airtight. If the best golfers on the planet play it, it must be the best ball. So if I want to play my best, I should play what they play. I bought that logic for over a decade. I spent, and I am not exaggerating, somewhere north of $4,000 on premium golf balls across those years. I lost them in ponds. I lost them in the woods. And every time I lost one, I felt a little pang because I knew exactly how much that little white ball cost. Now, here's what nobody told me, and here's where the story starts to rot. Those tour players swing the driver somewhere between 110 and 120 miles an hour, some of them faster. Do you know what that kind of speed does to a firm, high-compression ball? It crushes it. It compresses that ball against the club face like squeezing a stress ball flat, and all that stored energy fires the ball off the face with tremendous speed and control. The ball is designed for that violence. It needs that speed to work the way it is advertised. And what is the average driver swing speed for a golfer over the age of 50? The honest data puts most of us somewhere between 75 and 90 miles an hour. Plenty of us are down in the low 80s or high 70s, and there is nothing wrong with that. That is a normal, healthy, real swing speed for a man in his 60s or 70s. But when you take that swing speed and you put it behind a ball engineered for a tour professional, something quiet and terrible happens. You never fully compress the ball. You leave energy on the table on every single swing. The ball comes off firm and dead, launches too low, spins too much on the driver, and gives you the worst of every world. And you never see it because there is no number flashing at you when you hit it. You just think you are getting old and losing distance. That is the betrayal. And I need you to understand it was not an accident. The marketing was built to make you aspire upward, to make you feel that the expensive ball was the mature, serious choice, when for your swing, it was quietly the slowest option they sold. They were happy to let you believe the ball that made them the most money was the ball that was best for you. So after that fitting session, I went a little obsessive. I did not just take the fitter's word. I have been fooled by confident men before. I went and I bought every so-called senior ball, every softball, every value ball I could find, and I tested them. And I dug through independent robot testing data and lab measurements until my eyes hurt. And what I found rearranged my whole understanding of this game. Let me walk you through the 5 that actually earned their spot, because the differences between them matter more than you think, and the reason each one works tells you something the box never will. Let me start with the one that beat my beloved tour ball that cold Tuesday, because it deserves the credit. The Callaway Super Soft. This ball has a compression rating of around 38. To give you a sense of scale, that famous tour ball I'd been playing sits up around 90. 90 compression versus 38. When your swing speed is in the low 80s, you can actually flex and load a 38 compression ball. You compress it, you get that trampoline effect the tour player gets, except at your speed. The result on my launch monitor was higher ball speed, a higher and more efficient launch, and lower driver spin, which is exactly the recipe for carry distance. It felt soft, almost too soft off the putter for my taste, but the driver numbers did not lie. For a golfer with a moderate to slow swing who just wants more yards off the tee without thinking hard about it, this ball is a genuinely honest answer at a price that will not make you flinch when it sails into a lake. But soft alone is not the whole story, and this is where it gets more interesting. Because when I kept testing, I ran into a ball that made me question whether I even understood what compression meant. The Wilson Duo Soft. This thing has a compression rating down around 35, and depending on the year and model, it has been marketed as one of the lowest compression golf balls on the entire market. 35. Think about that against 90. When I hit it, the feel was like hitting a marshmallow, and I will be honest, my ego did not love that. But for the slower swinger, and I mean genuinely slow, down in the 70s, this ball rewards you. It gets up in the air easily. It comes off hot even when you feel like you barely made a swing, and it costs a fraction of the premium stuff. Here is the tension, though. A ball that's soft gives up something around the greens. It does not bite and check the way a firmer, spinnier ball does on a short pitch. So the question that started nagging me was, am I trading away my short game to get these tee shot yards? And that question is the exact trap the industry wants you stuck in, because it is the reason they talk you back up into the expensive ball. Hold that thought, because the third ball answers it, and this is where I started to feel like I was finally being told the truth. The Titleist Tour Soft. Now, this is fascinating because it comes from the same company that makes the famous premium ball I had been overpaying for. The Tour Soft sits in a middle compression range somewhere in the 60s, softer than the Tour ball but firmer than the Super Soft or the Duo. And that middle ground is exactly the point. For a senior who still has a bit of speed, who still swings in the mid-80s and wants real greenside control, this ball gives you a big, responsive core for distance and a thin cover that still grabs the green on a chip. It is not the absolute longest. It is not the absolute softest, but it is the ball that finally stopped me feeling like I had to choose between distance and my short game. And it quietly told me something. The company that sells you the expensive ball already makes a ball better suited to your swing for less money. They just do not shout about it. Before I show you who else was hiding a better ball in plain sight, I have to stop for a second, because everything I just walked you through is the exact thing I spent 11 years and thousands of dollars learning the hard way. Here's the part that stings. The ball is only half of it. If you've ever felt fooled reading that compression number too late, imagine standing in a fitting bay for your irons and getting fooled the exact same way, because the loft on your 7-iron is a lie, and nobody in that shop is going to tell you. That is exactly why I put together the collection I want you to have. It is called the Iron Clarity Complete Set, and it is an instant download you keep forever. Swing Strong maps the 4-iron families so you know exactly where your game lives, and it exposes the loft deception, the same trick that makes your 7-iron pretend to be something it is not. Iron Decoded teaches you to read every miss off the face and fix it at the source, and it lays out the honest taxonomy of blades, game improvement, and super game improvement, so you finally know which one fits your real swing. And Iron Code gives you the complete iron building system with the 7 costliest buying mistakes taken apart piece by piece, and a full gapping blueprint so your set has no holes. Here is the free test you can run tonight, the same way you would run the compression test on your golf balls. Go grab your 7-iron and your pitching wedge, stand them side by side, and look at the loft numbers stamped or listed for them. Then look up what a 7-iron loft used to be 20 years ago. When you see how far the number has crept, you will catch the loft deception with your own eyes at your own kitchen table for nothing. The fastest way to get the books is to scan the QR code right there on your screen, or go to the link in the description or the pinned comment. And this matters right now for a simple reason. The next time you walk into a shop or a fitting bay, that money is already on the line, and these books make you unfoolable before you ever hand it over. Now, let me show you who else was hiding a better ball in plain sight. The Bridgestone E12 Contact. Bridgestone has been doing something clever, and it involves a dimple design they built specifically to increase the contact area between the ball and the club face at the moment of impact. Now, I was skeptical, because this smells like exactly the kind of marketing language that fooled me for a decade. Fancy words for nothing. So I looked at the independent numbers, and for slower and moderate swing speeds, the story held up better than I expected. More friction and cleaner contact at impact translated to more efficient energy transfer, which for a moderate swinger means straighter ball flight and less of that sideways spin that turns a decent drive into a search party in the trees. This is the accuracy half of the promise, and for a lot of us over 50, accuracy is worth more than raw yards, because the straight ball in the fairway beats the long ball in the woods every single time. And this is a mid-priced ball, not a premium one. And the 5th ball is the one I want you to remember if you still have a little speed and a lot of pride. The Srixon Soft Feel. This ball has been quietly winning value comparisons for years, and it sits in a lower compression range in the 60s with a soft feel and a surprisingly aggressive cover for the price. What I love about it is that it refuses to make you pick a side. Good distance for a moderate swing, genuinely decent spin around the green, soft feel, and a price that means you will not have a heart attack when you rinse one. It is the ball I hand to a friend who says he does not want to think about any of this and just wants something that works. It works. Now I need to stop and talk directly to you, because I know exactly what a lot of you are thinking right now. You are thinking, that is all well and good, but I already have 3 dozen golf balls in my garage, and I am not about to throw them out and go spend money just because some guy on the internet put his old ball on a launch monitor. I hear you. My father was exactly that man. He would rather play a ball he found in the woods than open his wallet. So this next part is for you specifically, the golfer who is not buying anything new. And I promise you it is the most valuable thing in this whole video. Here is the first thing you can do this weekend with the balls you already own, and it costs nothing. Go find the number printed on the side of your golf balls, or look up the compression of whatever brand you have been playing. If you have been playing a firm, high compression ball, a tour ball, a distance ball marketed on control and spin, and your driver swing is under about 85 miles an hour, I want you to do a simple test on your very next round. Play 9 holes with that ball, and play 9 holes with the softest, lowest compression ball you can dig out of that garage, even an old one. Pay attention to 2 things only: how high the ball flies off your driver and how far it rolls out. I am willing to bet that the softer ball flies higher and finishes farther, and it will cost you nothing to find out. You do not need a launch monitor. Your own eyes on your own course are enough. That single experiment is the one I wish someone had forced me to do a decade and $4,000 ago. And here is the second free adjustment, and this one is about matching the ball you own to the shot that actually loses you strokes. Most senior golfers I know do not lose their scores on the tee. They lose them inside 100 yards, chunking and thinning little chip shots. If you are playing a firm ball and struggling to control those short shots, a softer ball will not just help your driver, it will feel more predictable off your wedge, and predictable is what saves you strokes. So before you assume you need a new ball, take the softest ball you already own and go spend 20 minutes chipping with it next to your usual ball. Feel the difference. Let your hands tell you the truth. Your ego's been hiding. This is about using what is in your bag smarter, not buying more. But there is one more truth, and this is the one I have been building toward this entire time, and it is the reason I made this video at all. Because even if you match your compression perfectly, even if you pick the exact right ball for your swing, there is one thing quietly stealing yards from you that almost nobody talks about, and once you know it, you can fix it for free on your very next tee shot. I found it buried in temperature testing data, the kind of thing equipment labs measure, but marketing departments would rather you never think about. Here is the truth they buried. A cold golf ball is a dead golf ball. When a golf ball drops in temperature, the rubber core gets stiffer and less lively, and it loses the ability to rebound off the face. The testing shows that a ball chilled down cold can lose meaningful ball speed compared to a ball that is warm. And in terms of carry, we are talking about several yards, sometimes as many as 5 or 6 yards on a full driver, just from temperature. Think about that. You picked the wrong ball for your swing, and then you left your golf balls in the trunk of your car overnight in 40-degree weather, and you teed up a cold, stiff, dead ball on the first hole and wondered why you looked so short. That was me. For years, my golf balls lived in my cold garage in my cold trunk, and I was starting every single round with the ball working against me. So here is the fix, and it is so simple it is almost insulting, but it is real and it is backed by the temperature data. Keep your golf balls warm before you play. Do not store them in a freezing garage or the trunk of your car in cold months. Keep them inside your house at room temperature the night before. And on a cold morning round, this is the trick that changes everything. Keep a ball or two in your pocket close to your body and rotate them every couple of holes so the ball you are playing is always the warm one, not the cold one that has been sitting in your bag. A warm ball off the tee is a livelier ball, and a livelier ball goes farther, and it does not cost you one single penny. The players who know this have been quietly doing it for years. Now you know it too. And here is why this matters beyond the yards. It ties everything together. Because the entire game they play on us is built on making you believe that distance comes from the next expensive purchase, the newer ball, the pricier ball, the one with the famous name. And the truth I paid thousands of dollars and 11 years to learn is that the biggest gains for a senior golfer come from things they will never advertise because there is no money in it for them. Match your ball's compression to your real swing speed instead of a tour player's. Test the ball you already own before you buy a new one, and never, ever tee up a cold ball. None of that requires you to trust a commercial. All of it requires you to trust the numbers and trust yourself. Let me bring it all the way back around to that cold Tuesday in the fitting bay, because I have thought about it 100 times since. What bothered me was not that I had spent the money. Money comes and goes. What bothered me was that I had been so certain. I had defended that ball to everyone. I had felt smart and serious playing it, and the whole time, my own swing, the honest swing of a man past 50, was quietly telling me it was the wrong choice. And I refused to listen because a marketing story was louder than my own results. I do not want that for you. I do not want you to spend another season leaving yards on the table because a company convinced you that the ball built for a professional was the ball built for you. If there's one thing I hope you take from all of this, it is that the truth about your golf ball was never hidden in some secret. It was hiding in plain sight under a story so well told that men like me defended it for free. Somebody had to put the expensive ball and the cheap ball side by side on the same machine and be humble enough to read what the screen actually said. Now you have that. You do not have to get fooled the way I did. You are the kind of golfer who wants to know what is real, not what sells. If you were the type to swallow the hype, you would have clicked off 10 minutes ago and gone back to defending your $50 dozen. You stayed. That tells me you would rather protect your money and your distance than protect your pride. And that makes you exactly the kind of golfer I make these for. So here is what I want to know from you. What ball are you playing right now? And what is your honest driver swing speed? Drop it in the comments, just the ball and the number, and I will tell you straight whether you are compressing it or leaving yards behind. And if you have ever pulled a cold ball out of your trunk on a winter morning and wondered why you came up short all day? Tell me that too, because I want you to see how many of us did the exact same thing. Leave the comment. I read them and I answer them. And if you are done being marketed to, if you want to keep seeing what these companies test in their labs and hope you never find out, come along with me. This is a group of golfers who see through the story and want the honest number instead. Because in the next one, I am going to show you the truth about premium versus value balls in the short game, the greenside spin test that finally answered whether the softball really cost you strokes around the green, and the answer surprised even me. There is a free ebook waiting for you as well that lays out the compression numbers for every major ball so you can match yours in about 30 seconds. Go get it, warm up your golf balls, and go play the smartest round of your life. I'm going to leave the overview right here, but there's more inside the Honest Fairway Club. I pick up right where this video stopped, taking you into the compression matched ball fitting for your exact swing speed. In there, you can ask me your own question, and a real person answers myself. You won't be doing this alone. Just point your phone's camera at the code on your screen, and you can cancel anytime. Now that you found the right ball for more distance, let's make sure your driver isn't holding you back. I'll show you the best one for your game, no matter your handicap. It's starting right here.